All right, welcome one, welcome all, welcome back, and so happy to have you guys here with us. So my apologies if you were on that first, stream there, live stream, but unfortunately that was not working as how we would have wanted it to work. So welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. If you're a returning viewer, listener, subscriber, welcome back, welcome back. If you're new to this channel, welcome, welcome. Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. We do that in a respectful way to ensure that we're maintaining our safe space, we're maintaining our safe community where we all feel valued and where we feel a sense of belonging, because that is definitely important to us. All right, welcome one, welcome all. So happy to have you guys here with us. Please ensure that you hit the like button, you hit the subscription button, so that we can continue to grow stronger together. In the context of this, live conversation, we want to talk about, the CXC CSEC results in the context, I guess, of past, statements that were made. And also we have, some current information regarding the results from the Ministry of Education. So we're going to play some clips for you guys. And also we want to hear from you. All right, we really want to hear from you in the context of what is happening in, your area. Do you believe, it's time come, or it's about choosing Jamaica? So we want to hear from you. This is not a political platform, so we listen to each other. It doesn't matter what party you support or if no party at all. We share the information that we have with you, and we keep this space real and respectful. So we don't disrespect anyone, we don't bash anyone, we don't belittle anyone. All right. And so on that note, we just keep it, respectful. All right, so we're going to open the phone line, the WhatsApp line, because again, we want to hear from you. So please, if you're calling us, once the line is, open for calls, please ensure that you mute your YouTube feed or lower the volume, and we ask again that you keep it real and respectful. All right, we're not in the business of disrespecting or belittling anyone. So again, welcome one, welcome all. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and of course the subscription button as we continue to grow stronger together. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to some music, all right, and just to set some things up and just wait for some more persons to come on the live stream. So rock and come in, guys. That's what this segment is called right now. Rock and come in. Hello, hello. All right, welcome back, welcome back. So, again, welcome. If you're just tuning in, we want to have a conversation regarding the CXC CSEC results, specifically regarding English language and mathematics. So, we just want to talk about that and how that is looking in the context of the upcoming general elections. And also, we want to hear from you. Is it time come, or is it about choosing Jamaica? So we want to hear from you in that general sense. But here at the Voices in Education, we want to send a big shout out, a big congratulations to all the students, who have gotten the results that they wanted, and all the students who have perhaps not gotten the results they wanted, but they were still successful despite, challenges that they may have encountered. So we want to say congratulations to every student, who has gotten a result, and also to students who may feel that they haven't gotten the results that they wanted, or students who may not get the results, perhaps, fail a subject or a couple of subjects. We want to let you know that all hope is not lost, all right? And so we want you to know that sometimes, we bloom at different stages and phases, and that is okay. It does not mean that you're a failure. It just gives you another opportunity to try again, and so never count yourself out. So parents, I know we have parents here who have been supporting their children. I say congratulations to you too. This is your success as well. And if your child or children did not do too well, please don't be too hard on them. Just continue to support them so that they can achieve or realize their goals. All right, so again, welcome one, welcome all. So on this note, we're going to just move over to I guess we'll start with the Minister of Education. So we'll go over to Dana. Soji, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, guys, you need to hit that like button and let's keep it going. So what I'll do, guys, I'll go to the Education Minister, and these are just clips, and then I'll go back to a clip, and it's perhaps about 19 or so minutes from Mr. Damian Crawford. And this was back in August, so about the 4th of August. And you'll see that on screen with the information. And we'll talk a little bit about that. I did my research before coming online. So if you have any information just to see if the PNP or Damian Crawford responded to the results that the Ministry of Education has shared earlier today, I did not see any information. So as a result, I went back to that interview he did. But first, let's go to the Minister of Education congratulating the students, and then we'll move into Mr. Crawford's presentation or interview with the Jamaica Gleaner. So let's do that.
Jamaica, CXC results are out, and I want to thank our students who worked so hard over many months. I also want to thank all of our teachers, our principals, our boards, and of course, our parents who have provided infinite support to our students. The results are really encouraging. We've improved in mathematics and in English, and in many of our subjects, we are above the regional average. This has taken a lot of hard work from a lot of people, and I have to say thank you. And Jamaica, this is what we are working for in education. We're working really hard with our children. We're seeing the result of our camps that we did, or Easter camp and or Christmas camps. And we thank everybody who worked so hard to make those camps a reality. But we're not going to stop there. There's so much more that we are willing to do and ready to do. And listen out for all the plans we have to take those CXC results even higher in the future. For those of you who may not get the results you had expected, I say to you that there are many paths to success. And this is an administration that has worked really hard to provide other opportunities. And so we have Heart NSTA Trust that's available to you, and you can go there up to level 4, which is an associate degree free of cost. We have our community colleges that are implementing new and exciting programs. And so if you get your results and they don't look like what you want, don't be discouraged. There is still a lot that we can do together to get you on that path to realize that wonderful potential that we know that all of you have. And so congratulations again. And I look forward to celebrating with many of you in the coming days.
All right, fantastic. There, that was the Education Minister, Dana, there. And in the chat, I see KJ, welcome. Mats Morgan, I welcome. And KJ saying, congratulations to all the kids. Keep working. Big up all the parents or guardians who supported the students, for sure, for sure. All right, so in the context of the results, these are some I would say posts from the Ministry of Education. And so here, the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information has been working to improve national performance in mathematics and English language, and the results are showing. All right, and then here, these improvements are in part due to targeted interventions designed to strengthen teaching quality, provide additional learning support, and to improve student outcomes. And then over, the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is proud to celebrate a national pass rate of 85% in English language, up from 76% in 2024 and surpassing the pre-pandemic 2019 rate of 82.8%. So now that's a big achievement. It means that supports, they're working, and parents, everybody, key stakeholders, you're in this, because we need key stakeholders on board for education to work, all right, and for kids to achieve and realize their goals. So now, okay, here we go. The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information is proud to announce a national pass rate of 44% in mathematics for 2025, up from 39% in 2024. Excellence in every education, success in every solution. All right, so this is
of everything else everybody has to talk about. What is the reason I think?
So here we want to go to Mr. Crawford, and again, this is something that was said, as you can see on your screen there. Well, some time ago, so in August. This where we got this recording is from Mr. Crawford's Facebook page, and it was posted on August 4, 2025, and it was a Gleaner interview. So we're just going to go back to Mr. Crawford just to get a sense of what he was sharing. So this is going to take us about 19 minutes or so, and then we go to the Minister of Education. We'll go back to Dana, and then we'll just open the phone line, the WhatsApp line, to hear from you guys. So if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. Please consider hitting the like button, the share button, and the subscription button, and let us just continue to grow stronger together. All right, let's go to Mr. Crawford.
Of everything else everybody has a talk about, what is the reason I think things need to change? Because the results are not coming. The results are not coming. We have reduced the mastery of literacy. This particular JLP government, with their PR approach, jumps to say something when something is in the newspaper. When did we hear about reading becoming mandatory? When the thing about Pembroke came in the newspaper. The first thing that I think must be acknowledged by the society is that education is in crisis. And the evidence of that can be captured at every single level of education. More recently, what is equivalent to the GED in the United States, which is 5 subjects including math and English. So our test for GED satisfactory secondary school completion is 5 subjects including math and English. So that's equivalent to the GED in the United States. We're at 18%. So only 18% of our children in that age cohort each year is satisfying that expectation after having this period of education, which should have been from age 3 to age 19, approximately 16 years of education. So
18%?
yes, 18%. That is the 2024 CXC results. So 82% did not achieve the minimum acceptable standard of 5 subjects, including math and English. Now, it would be important for you and the listeners to also recognize that this is a decrease since 2015, because in 2015 it was 28%. So in 2015, 28% of those who sat the examinations received 5 subjects, including math and English. At this point, it is 18%. That is 10 percentage points, or what we'd say almost a 34% reduction in the number of persons receiving 5 subjects, including math and English. So poor is our performance that some entities have stopped asking for mathematics because so few persons are passing the subject of mathematics. Equivalently, you can go to the literacy mastery, 4th grade mastery. In 2015, that was 85%. Currently, it is 64%. So the 4th grade mastery has fallen almost 20 percentage points from 85% in 2015, achieving mastery levels, to 64%, 64.6%, I believe is a factual number, achieving mastery in literacy currently. They would also recognize that basic proficiency in PEP, up to 11,000, did not achieve basic proficiency in mathematics. Another 10,000 did not achieve basic proficiency in English language in just 1 year cohort. If you extrapolate that to a 10-year outcome, you'll realize that almost 100,000 within that 10 years. So between the ages of 13 and 20, that did not achieve proficiency at the grades math and or English. So that is exceptional facts to suggest that we are in crisis. And also, if you look at these numbers, you're seeing that there is a deterioration in performance over time. So, for example, you would recognize that there in mathematics, there's a 56 or 50 or 49, between 48 and 56 at different times, mastery or proficiency in mathematics at the PEP level. Yet, when you get to the CXC level, there's a 30% pass in mathematics. The vast majority of those being grade 3. So, at this point, therefore, it is imperative for us to recognize that there's a crisis in education. And the reason for that recognition is that at a point of crisis, one must acknowledge that the next act must be one that corrects the circumstance, because after that, you're really leading to a great negative. It is compounded by the fact that there is limited place for the uneducated in the current and worse yet in the future worlds. And the 19-year-old at this time should be independently earning their own living for the next 40 to 50 years. And so when you look at where the world would be in the next 20 years, the uninformed and the uneducated have very little space in that world. In the 1980s and 1990s, early 2000, muscle work was more prevalent than it is currently. Those who used to mix cement have been replaced by the premix truck. Those who used to chop bush have been replaced by the weed whacker. Those who used to wash clothes have been replaced by the washing machine. And so as machines replace muscle, the knowledge economy becomes more important. The knowledge society becomes more important. And those without the ability to learn, the capacity to think, and the evidence of knowledge are going to have a very difficult time earning an income and providing for themselves. And so we cannot continue with this situation of sacrificing our children and having the outcomes of education be so insignificant that we have in your own newspaper reports of a school like Pembroke Hall with almost 80% in 7th grade not having the ability to read. We have seen that as well for Holy Trinity. They said in that news article, of the 207, almost 200 were incapable to read. And the principal indicated that the grade 8 was not much different from that grade 7. We as the People's National Party see that as a fundamental flaw within the system. Because statistically, where the majority fails, it is not an individual problem. Where the majority fails, it's a systematic problem. And so we have started to, well, not started, we have long been studying the system of education and what are the issues facing these children going forward. What are some of these issues? One of the issues that we have identified is the absenteeism, high level of absenteeism. Chronic absenteeism is noted as 10%. Jamaica celebrated 22% absenteeism as a return to pre-COVID levels of absenteeism. The research suggests that at 20%, the child is likely to perform as if he never attended school in an exam. So not that he will not have any knowledge, he might have greater knowledge than those who didn't attend school, but he's likely to perform as poorly as those who didn't attend school. We celebrated 22%. Additionally, deep rural absenteeism is 55%, and rural absenteeism is over 30%. We also recognize systematic problems as it relates to nutrition and the availability of nutrition to the average Jamaican. Research has shown that 56% of Jamaicans have food insecurity, some level of food insecurity, 56%. We also recognize certain gaps as it relates to an homework gap, an early exposure gap, and that is what we call the pre-K. And also we found that there was also a gap as it relates to student motivation, student discipline, and available teachers. And I said available teachers, it means both in class, present, and competent. Sometimes you will have teachers who are not available in a particular area being replaced by teachers who are not trained in that area to just facilitate learning and discipline. So in combining those systematic problems, we have sought to make some policy conversations around how to change that system.
For a PNP government, where does it start? Where does the correction start for a PNP government?
It's a difficult question because I don't believe we can sacrifice a group. And at all ages, at all stages, there's a group that exists. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I hear people say, oh, we start at the basic school level. All right, so there are going to be outside of the basic school level, persons who are past that level and possibly not have gotten the necessary interventions at primary, lower high school, and upper high school level. Mm-hmm. So does that mean they should be ignored to start at some say primary school level? No. Focus must be made at not continuing the flow of persons coming from these levels incapable of performing to the right level. So therefore, with this flood that we're having, you must have firstly a stopping of the pipe, which is to make sure that basic school is performing, primary school is performing. But simultaneously, you must have a mapping of the flood to make sure that those who are not reading in high school have remedial effort. Those who are past that stage of basic school have remedial effort, so that those persons are not sacrificed. Because while they are an education concern to age 19, they are a national concern to age 80. And the individual who doesn't receive satisfactory education is disposed to most of the maladies of our society, such as malnutrition, which still remains a national concern through PATH and other things must be funded, such as criminal participation, which still remains a national concern, such as inadequate housing, which still remains a national concern, such as health and access to health care. All of these must be supplemented for the individual incapable of earning a living in a knowledge economy. So therefore, as a holistic reality, we must intervene to save those who are unfortunately past the fixing component of the basic and the primary school. And so
You mean within the traditional
within
setting?
the traditional setting. And so I believe it's really a hamburger approach. And the hamburger approach have the bun coming from both top and the bottom. So it is to fix the basic school while simultaneously putting the remedial efforts to rescue the persons at the end of the conveyor belt, to rescue those 8th graders and 9th graders who are no longer in primary school, but to make sure that they perform much more than the 18% at current.
There are positions here and there about whether we can actually, one, fix it, two, want to fix it, three, just talking about it.
Yes.
You're saying that we need to correct simultaneously with cauterizing the, and I'm using damage for want of a better word, what currently exists.
Remediating those who have passed and ensuring we don't need that remediation to those who are coming.
Okay, all right.
But quickly, because you made a point. Is it just talking? Is there interest? I think history can be used. The PMP has historically been known for the greatest interventions in education. We can go as far back as free education. We can go as far back as common entrance. We can go as far back as when P.J. Patterson took the money from NHD to do the whole rehabilitation of schools. We can go as far back as comprehensive high schools. In fact, under P.J. Patterson, tertiary access moved from 6% to 19% under P.J. Patterson. Since then, it is hovering at 21%. So that dramatic movement came true. We can go back as far as Jamal. So the greatest interventions, the one I'll give to the Jamaica Labour Party would be HEART, because Edisiaga did implement HEART. Some PMP would argue that it was a replacement of something else, but as an institution. But the general effort on the education has been disproportionately the ballpark of the People's National Party.
So one of the things that the persons in the sector have said to me is that nutrition and skills training, they are perhaps the two most important things to get some semblance of fixing and moving forward. I know that there is a proposal for a meal per child, I think per early childhood education. Now, people in the sector have said that that has to be extended to the primary schools as well. So a meal for primary, a meal for early childhood, one meal, breakfast or lunch. Which is it? Is it going to be one meal? Is it going to be extended? One meal for early childhood and one meal for primary? Same meal? Everybody gets breakfast at early childhood and primary, or everybody gets lunch at early childhood and primary?
All right. So again, we're at a point of comparison because we're at a point of selection. And to make a selection, you compare the two offerings. So the current offering is the JP's offering of having PATH lunches. And that PATH lunch is for 130-something thousand children at $180. The PMP has recommended to move that to 56% of our children, which would be about 240,000. And that 56% came from the FAO's research. I think it's called Food and Agricultural Organization. But the FAO's research said that 56% of Jamaicans have food insecurity. So if 56% of Jamaicans have food insecurity, then feeding 30% seem to have left 20% without access. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to move the portion from $180 to $400. Why is this so? This is so because the global norm, what is recommended for school feeding, is 33% of the daily caloric nutritional needs of the child. So 33% cannot be met by the $180. Indeed, some schools have moved to only 3 days a week because it's supposed to be $180 a day for 5 days. Some schools have then amalgamated this $900 to be $300 a day for 3 days because of the incapacity to create that caloric intake. Now, because the JLP is not concerned with that, it has led to a segregationist kind of system where in some schools there is a separate line for path lunches and another line for those who are purchasing other lunches. So to this extent, the difference is one, we are doing more persons, 56%, which is 240,000.
That is the plan.
The plan. The
Okay, to
proposal,
do more.
To do more.
Okay.
And that would include from basic to high school.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But these are not the same lunches because each age group don't have an equal caloric
Need. Okay.
So it is based on the caloric need. So the 400 might be too high for the basic school. The basic school caloric need might be 210, right? But the primary school might be 350, and the high school might be 400, based on the caloric need. Of course, you will then engage nutritionists, etc., to design options so that the schools can be more direct in delivering these caloric needs. Let me give you an example. Many of our girls at the menstrual period of their life are having iron deficiency, experiencing iron deficiency because of that lack of intake.
They're losing
What's the negative of that in school? Lethargy, lack of concentration, wanting to sleep, right? So without replacing that with a proper meal, caloric rice, etc., liver, there are people with great expertise than I, right? Who would then help to recommend to the schools based on the age cohort what is it that should be cooked, consumed, etc.
I want to move to curriculum, and I have long believed that with the changing environment of education, there is a misalignment of the curriculum in Jamaica, in schools, with some of the things that we need to do. What, if any, are some of the programs, modules that are currently in the curriculum, let's say at the secondary school level, that would need expansion, to be tossed, or to be tweaked, to make the students more equipped on leave in secondary schools, whether they, especially for those who can't go on to, like, say, a sixth form.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, the role of a school system is not only for our workforce; it is for a citizen. So having captured these children from 3 to 19, the school should be shaping a citizenry, a type of a person that will best fit into and benefit our society. Creating labor is a poor part of that, but is not the only aspect of that. Some persons perceive that the role of the education activity is only a workforce, right? What are some of the challenges? And let me speak to a school like the University's UTEC. When a government leaves the university to fend for themselves in the main for survival, then market forces become a driver. One of those market forces is the size of the market size, those who are available to attend. It is difficult for a college to remain a STEM college when there is low STEM matriculation. So if very few people are passing math, physics, science, then how would the school survive?
Yes.
Focusing only on that market size when it need a minimum of X to survive, to function. So that school would then seek markets where there's high matriculation, the arts, etc., etc.
Okay. Law.
Exactly. So that has been one of the realities that face UTEC and even UA. Because government has almost withdrawn from their funding models. Now, the curriculum has to be reviewed because the outcomes are not.
All right, guys, welcome if you're just tuning in. So that was Mr. Crawford, and that's all in the context of the recording that he posted. So we just bring this into the context of the conversation so you can have an understanding of the PNP's position. I am not sure if that position has changed since the recently released CSEC and the CAPE results, but we'll keep monitoring what they're sharing and in the media and on their social media platforms, and we'll definitely share with you. So now, before I open the phone line, just to the WhatsApp line to hear from you guys, I am going to go to a clip from Senator Dana Morris's presentation in the education minister, in the context of I guess mathematics and English, you could say that. But for sure there were other results discussed, and some I can share with you. It's a lot. We'll perhaps try to see how best we can share that on our platform, but again, just ensure that you're sticking and staying with us. Let's go to the minister.
Data for the last 2 years, we would have seen what happened. But this morning, we are so very happy to let you know that despite all of that challenge that we had coming out of COVID, that Jamaica, we are looking much, much better. The ministry did a lot of work, and the permanent secretary, the CEO, have to be commended. The entire team has to be commended for all the work they did. And if I talk about some of them, I should really look at some of these initiatives that were done. There were mathematics and literacy camps across the island. We had camps in Christmas. We had camps in the Easter holiday. I went visiting during them. I actually got to teach at one of them. It was real. These are things we were doing. And you saw our teachers coming out and helping. You saw our coordinators, our maths coordinator, our literacy coordinators being there with them, working deeply with the schools during these camps. We also had expanded extra lessons and homework programs in over 50 of our priority schools. We have schools that we deem to be NSLIP schools. These are the schools that have results that have not been exceptional and that we know we need to work with. And the ministry worked tirelessly with these schools. We had an initiative that was called the tactical approach, where we went deep into these schools and we worked with them. We had specialist teacher deployments across these schools for maths and English. We had after school and Saturday academic camps. We also used a lot of technology. We used our e-learning platforms where we gave lesson plans, we gave work to the teachers, we gave them practice tests digitally. There was a lot of work that went in during this academic year by the ministry team, and I commend them. Thank you, team. What we were saying to our children was that you matter. You matter, and especially to our children in those schools that Jamaicans and many people just see as underperforming schools. We said to those children, you matter. And because you matter, we're going to put in place all of these interventions so that you can do well. And we're happy this morning to see the results. In terms of those who entered, we had 30,514 students entering the exams, and 93.9% of them actually sat the exam. This is a issue that we have over the years in terms of students registering for exams but then not sitting it. So we had 93.9% of them sitting, so there was a significant enough number of students who didn't, a little bit over 1,000 of the students who did not sit the actual exam. Now for the results. English A. Our public school national pass rate is 85%. 85% of our students who sat CSEC 2025 English A got between grade 1 and 3. Now let's put that in context. Last year, it was 76% of our students. This year, we're at 85% of our students doing English A, getting between a 1 and a 3. Now we need to juxtapose that with the regional average. The regional average is 80% of students passing English A. We have surpassed the region in English A. In terms of mathematics, which is an area you know that we have to do quite a bit of work on. A lot of the intervention was there, and we have to continue doing that work. But if we look at the numbers, in terms of mathematics passes, 44% of our public school children who did CSEC 2025 mathematics passed with a grade 1 to grade 3. 44%. We obviously want that to be higher, but last year it was 39%, and the regional average is 39% of students passing mathematics. We are above the regional average again in mathematics. But as the CXC meeting yesterday noted, across the entire region, there are concerns around mathematics. And it is something as a region we're going to have to tackle. But we in Jamaica, we've already started it. And it is very encouraging to see that we're above region. And we're going to continue on that thrust. But I think it's also very important for us to note too, that we are approaching, we're inching up towards pre-pandemic numbers. And so in 2029, would have been at 54%. And so we're slowly moving back to that in terms of mathematics. But what I should note, though, is in relation to English, that we are back to pre-pandemic and above. So with English A, in 2019, the pass rate for English was 82.8%. This year, it is 85%. So we've gone beyond pre-pandemic. So I think in terms of English, we're there. We're back to where we need to be, and then we can now move forward from that. In terms of mathematics, still not at pre-pandemic, but we are better than we were last year, and we're better than the regional average.
All right, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So you have heard it, and obviously there is still more that needs to be done in the context of these key subject areas. So at this point, and I just want to share because I was looking at, Mr. Crawford mentioned that, at that point in the conversation, 18% are just there of students were passing 5 subjects, including mathematics and English language. Based on what was shared today, there's a little improvement, so it's now at about 19.2% of students passing 5 subjects, including mathematics and English. So we're seeing, some improvements there, and I hope that this continues. And KJ, for sure, you made a very fantastic point, and I know I referred to the key stakeholders, but for sure, teachers, you deserve to be celebrated too, because you have done so much, and I know teachers have worked so hard. A lot of teachers, they stay back and they work with the children, and so that is definitely important. So well done to all the teachers, and I know some of my teacher friends, they're checking grades. They already did that, and big up to you, my big teacher friend. You're always a shell it year after year in the Cape. Big up. And to all the students, community members, a part of Voices in Education, who have sat exams, congratulations to you. And if you want to call and just shout out to your son, your daughter, your family member, your friend, your neighbor. We want to hear those stories as well. So at this point, I'm just going to pop the WhatsApp number in the chat, along with the poll link too. So it's our Voices in Education poll. So if you have not yet voted in the poll, you can definitely do that. So I'm just going to share that information in the chat right now. I'm just trying to get into the chat. All right, and let me just do that. I'm just putting the WhatsApp number and the link to the poll, so that if you'd like to vote, you can just follow that link there and vote. Let me just try to pin this to the top of the chat. All right, there you go. So now is the time for you to give me a call. Would love, love, love to hear from you. All right, so again, welcome.
Hello.
Welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, we want to hear from you. So even if you just want to say congratulations to somebody, if you want to share regarding the CSEC results, based on what we have shared so far, or just to inform us of something that perhaps we did not touch on, and really want to hear from you. So waiting for you guys to call. Ovi, if you want to connect with us, that would be good. And we ask you to keep the calls, very short and spicy, to the point, because we want to wrap up this one soon, because we want to prepare. So if you're a part of our channel and you're looking forward to seeing some Diamond League clashes tomorrow morning, you want to stick and stay with us for that. All right, so while we are waiting for some calls, I shared with you that in the context of the improvements, 5 subjects including mathematics and English language, that has increased a bit from 18 to just about 19.2% there. So just to let you know. And there were some other improvements in the context of the STEM subjects. So if we look, for example, at add mathematics or additional mathematics, the pass rate was about 69%, and we're seeing 70% for this year. When you look at agricultural science, so the double award, the pass rate in 2024 was 85%. What I am seeing here is 99%. So they actually 164 students sat and 162 students passed. All right, so that there is going on well. Agricultural science single award, 2024 was 85.2%, and pretty much around the same year, 86% this year. Biology, it was 74.5% in 2024. We're seeing 84% here in 2025. Chemistry was at 64.1%. We're seeing here 58%. So that has gone down there somewhat. So this is EDPM. We in 2024 76.2%, 78% in 2025. Bio, that was 75%. Now we're seeing 78%. This is industrial technology, so building, 84% in 2024 and 82% now, so a slight dip there. Industrial technology, electrical, 70.3% last year. And let me see here. Hold on, guys. I just need to follow this. 79% this year. So some improvements there. Industrial technology, mechanical, 75%. And we're seeing 85% this year. IT, so information technology, 78.9% last year. This year, 88%. Integrated science looks to be 44%. All right, last year, now we're seeing 55%. And mathematics, as we shared there, we're seeing 69.6%. No, not mathematics, sorry. Mathematics 40%, my bad. So that was last year. And as you know, this year 44%. And physics 69.6% last year. And we're seeing a decrease there, 63%. So those are some of the subject areas, and in the context of the percentage of students who have passed. And so would love to hear from you guys quickly if you have anything you would like to share with us, or just to update us in the context of what is happening. I know that the People's National Party, they're in South St. James. They have been there, and so we'll keep you posted, so pay attention to the shorts too. Avi, welcome, talk to us.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. I've listened to the results and I'm happy that based on what was shared by the Minister of Education, that overall, I would say the results are improving in the CXC exam. So that's always a good sign. So that's pretty awesome. The only thing that is a little bit concerning though, and I don't know if you want to weigh in on this. Usually, the opposition and the government usually have things going in opposite direction. One is going north, one is going south. So I don't think the numbers lie. So we just want them to be as transparent, I would say, as fair as possible when it comes down to what is happening in terms of education.